live on YouTube. And
What we've got here is failure to communicate. Some people you just can't reach. And I don't like it any more than you.
With all the information at our fingertips, how do we push ourselves out of the information age and into the accountability age? We the people deserve a new platform to be heard. Welcome to the great internet debates, hot topic, hot potato, roundtable discussion. This is a reminder that this is like a bullpen of a platform to help create civil discourse about hot topics. We're looking for contestants to be on our debate show. And this is a place where they can, talk about hot topics before they get and laser focus their ideas to get onto the debate show. And we'll also do our best not to sling mud, but try to help build bridges with that mud. All right. So today is December 16th, 2020. So much has happened this week. Just going to start off with, from President-elect Biden getting the Electoral College vote win. How do we feel about the Electoral College anymore? Will we table that thought for another 4 years? So I'll just start with that one. But before we get into there, I guess I should introduce everybody on the call. Gary, you brought somebody new to the call there. I don't know who that is yet. Gary, where are you calling from, and who you got there, and what's going on?
Hi, I'm Gary Bristow, and I am living now in Naples, Florida. This here is Carmela. This is my other half.
Hi.
Carmela. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, Gary, from Naples, Florida. And then we're going to toss that hot potato over to Anthony. Anthony, say hello.
Hello, I'm Anthony Torino. I am a comedian and screenwriter, and I am in the break room at the KKK meeting in Alabama.
KKK meeting. I thought this is an AA meeting.
those are much easier.
I believe
the mind is funny. All right, very good. All right, toss that over to Marvin there. Marvin, you catch that potato?
Marv.
I don't know what we're talking about.
Who are you?
Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Marvin Cohen. And my hot potato is that I'm getting my nonprofit really up and running. I got 3 board members that I recruited yesterday and today. And I have a guy who's giving me direction because he started a nonprofit and he's working with me. And my nonprofit is called Our World Peace Park, and it's to overcome prejudice through education.
Man, that's awesome. Yeah.
That is great.
Good
we all
stuff.
need that.
Yeah.
Overcoming prejudice through education. And that's what we're going to try to do here today is do a little bit of that as well.
You'll have to come talk at our KKK meeting.
Yeah, people don't know you're joking. You're saying that.
I might not get out alive.
There you go. All right, Jack, keep it rolling.
Very good. Josh, do you want to introduce yourself and where you're from?
I'm going to stole your purse.
I'm Jedi. I'm out in Cleveland, and I'm working on doing the tech stuff. So all these awesome transitions that you got. Back to our host, over to Marv. Anthony, that's me. So I'm doing technical directing, camera, art direction. I'm doing audio. I'm doing video. One-man show over here. on the tech side.
That's right.
Sometimes that's why I don't talk too much,
He's
and that's
got
why my image kind of drops off on occasion because I'm putting out a fire or, trying to keep us on the air. So, but today I want to point everybody to take a look at the clock in the center here. So we're going to throw out the hot potato. Hot potato is, what is this counter about? And I'm going to catch the hot potato. Then I have 1 minute to tell you guys. We will now only respond 1 minute response. If someone feels like they need a rebuttal, then boom, we restart the clock. The other person can get a rebuttal. But that's it. You get one response, one statement, one response. That's it. So no arguments. You can say how you feel, and then someone can respond to that. You can respond, and we move on. So that's the deal with the clock, and we're going to be using it a lot. Right, Jay?
That's right. And then if it feels like you guys want to have a debate about it, we're going to write it down and make it happen. All right? Because we need the pilot show to happen and other things going on. All right? Holly, you want to join the call?
No, I have a meeting in about 5 minutes. Thank you.
All right.
Well, thank
God bless you.
So that wasn't a ghost. I thought something was happening.
No, she has a meeting at every Wednesday night at 7.
Someone walked in, grabbed something.
I'm supposed to be off of this at 7.
Jay.
All right. Well, let's keep
You've got some
going with the
already
show.
lined up. Why don't you shoot them out there, and we'll start off with you. What's your hot topic, Brad?
All right. So let's get back into it. Yeah. So today is December 16th, and so much has happened this week. And let's just start off with the president-elect Biden getting, the Electoral College vote. How do we feel about the Electoral College anymore? And, are you going to table that thought for another 4 years? And what,
Yeah, like a sick face. Look on her face.
Right.
Let's see here. I lost my papers.
All right.
So I guess there was a 306 to 232 vote were the final numbers. And then something else is going to happen on January 6th. We got the congressional session. They're going to record the vote.
January 6th.
So, Gary, you got something to say about what happened?
I mean, hey, what can we do? That's, I'm not really happy about it. I think there was a lot of election fraud and a lot of things going on that
Still?
Oh yeah. I mean, we're kind of stuck with it now because it's kind of like Democrats don't want us to. I mean, they keep on feeding all this out to us, and they don't let us hear the truth. So much of the stuff has been censored on YouTube, on Facebook. How can the media censor so much and just not? I don't know if I even believe in the election.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's just.
I'm with you. I don't believe in it either.
What was censored?
Oh God, so much stuff on Facebook. I had friends posting stuff on Facebook and YouTube and different things. For Trump or against Biden, so to speak, and they actually had things that on Facebook that actually locked us that actually locked us out, and or took it off. They actually took it off. And if they didn't and when people started really complaining about that, they didn't actually always take it off. Facebook actually put a warning underneath our post that said, "This get your fact checkers and check this fact. This is not necessarily true." Blah blah blah. It's ridiculous, ridiculous.
Well, you know what? As for our page, we actually had a lot of things when we were trying to run with this whole concept. We were trying to do something kind of like, oh, it's the election. Every time we put the word election into our subject, we got blocked. We couldn't boost the ad. And they actually went so far as to make us be, I guess you would say, extra verified. And we're in the process of doing that so that we can be an actual news media outlet. So we're working on making that, our standard. But the reality of it is, it's weird, Gary. You're right. They pick and choose on, what it's going to be. So that's my minute.
Yeah, and I think that's wrong. That so much. I never had so much censorship before, and and it'd be nice to hear both sides full of the story, and then we get to decide what is honest, what isn't, what's right. But when they're actually keeping stuff away from us, from even even hearing that part of the story to begin with is crazy. I mean, all the stuff about Biden and his son and the China thing and everything, that was suppressed completely. They were trying to stop that and not even talk about it on the news until after the election, which I think was wrong too.
Right.
And then so many Democratic friends like I have believe that it was all a scam, a smokescreen, a hoax, you know. And now that it's coming out even more now after the election, you know, it's like, oh, it's such a hoax, and why couldn't we hear about it before and everything? It's just all really ridiculous how, you know, how this is going.
All right, that's the hot minute. Toss your hot potato. Who you want to respond to that?
Well, as far as the electoral votes, I'm okay with that. It's the voting by mail. I've never liked that. I was never comfortable with that. And I think we should go back to in-person, showing who you are and verifying signature. I was up at one of the community centers up in Bonita Springs about 4 years ago, the last election. I saw Canadians voting, and I know that they are not American citizens. And I didn't know their names, but I knew them from the community center. And when I called the election department and told them, they said there's nothing they can do about it. Even if I see it, and I even brought it to the attention at the precinct, said, can't do anything about it. If they have a valid Florida driver's license, they can vote. And anybody that has a condo down here, whether they're from Germany, whether they're from Michigan, will get a driver's license. So they can go into a precinct and just sign up to vote.
Wow.
Luckily, Florida,
when they're really from Michigan or from somewhere else.
Yeah, they can vote they can vote in Florida they have a Florida driver's license. So that's one of the things I'd like to see them be able to verify with passport or specific a birth certificate. The lady that I called at the election center said that when you sign up to vote and get a card, a voter's registration, you do have to swear, not show, but you have to swear that you are American citizen. And she said, if they lie, it's on them. I said, well, if they lie, it's illegal.
They didn't even ask to see my voter's card.
No,
I swear to goodness gracious, what are we gonna do? Hey, you have to understand what probably the criteria of getting a driver's license in Florida might be a little stricter than other places too. I don't know.
I have to go. 6:40.
Thank you so much, Marv.
Thank
Got
you.
anything to say? You have anything to say about the election before you go?
No, I think we need to drop the electoral college and go with a popular vote in the future.
Right.
And voting in person sounds very good to me.
Amen to that.
See ya.
All right, thank you, Marv.
All right. Happy Hanukkah.
Thank you.
Give them hell.
All right, we're looking good. We got a couple reports that we're looking good. It's going to take us a second to do the moon. All right, Jake, keep us rolling. Keep us rolling, brother.
All right. Where are we going off to next, guys? So I guess the next thing is the COVID, Moderna, and Pfizer. Oh, my.
Nah.
We have over 300,000 deaths in the United States and rising. Both Pfizer and Moderna are close to 95% efficacy. Both Pfizer is approved, or Pfizer's approved already, I guess, rolling out with shots in the arms, which was on Monday. Sandra Lindsay is believed to be the first to receive the treatments in the United States outside of the clinical trial.
Right.
Let's see. And thousands by now have already gotten the vaccine by now. Moderna does not need the vaccine as cold as Pfizer, though, as some of you already know. The delivery systems are working their magic out. Their kinks out right now, so we'll see what happens. That's what I got. Those are my thoughts about that.
Okay.
Anthony, you have anything to say about what's going on?
I believe that first lady that got the vaccine, she's turned into a zombie this morning. No, this is amazing. It's amazing. I hear people complaining, but the fact that we went from having nothing on this to a vaccine for this in less than a year And now that they're going to roll this out to hundreds of millions of people, it kind of shoots the argument that the government can't do anything. Obviously, I mean, the government didn't come up with the vaccine, but just rolling this out is amazing.
Right.
That we were able to do, that companies, not Trump, not America, that companies, private companies are able to develop the vaccine is absolutely amazing. And I hope that, you know, all the Republicans that take the vaccination have problems with it. But other than that, I'm real happy.
All right, that's your minute. Anybody got a response to that?
Oh, what do you think about the vaccine, babe?
I don't want to take it yet.
All right, I'll go.
I want all the little test people to take it first and see what happens. I don't want to turn into a zombie.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think I want to put that in my body either, to be honest with you. I'm hoping that enough of the American people take the vaccine. And then after that, we get kind of like that herd immunity type thing. And I'm just afraid it's going to be required to go on traveling and cruises and planes. So what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I'm going 100%. Not only that, but if you want to return to work in the entertainment industry, it's going to be a required thing. Like I'm a
Which industry?
And a tech guy. So in order for me to be able to work concerts at local concert venues, I will be required to take the vaccine as soon as possible.
And they can make you take it, huh?
How can they force you to take a vaccine? What about the people that are? What about the people that are religiously against any type of medication or?
They may not be working at the same place.
Yeah, it's not good.
We make people take vaccinations, their children, to get into school. So this isn't anything.
That's the thing that's weird.
Okay,
that's why there's homeschooling.
People, well, okay, I think they should probably homeschool because maybe they have problems with the thought process, because we have solved or eradicated numerous diseases with vaccinations. Now, this is a new type of vaccination. It really, right. So I don't know about this. It's a little bit scary if you learn about the new vaccine. It isn't like the old flu where they injected you with a little bit of flu. This one's totally different. So it's going to develop some really good scary movies, I think, off of this vaccine.
Right.
But I'm going to trust, just like we all trust the pilot that flies the plane that we're on and the captain that captains the ship we're on in a cruise, and that people are going to stay in their lanes. I don't think that the powers that be are trying to kill millions of us. I don't think that's true.
Right. Well, I don't think they're trying to kill us. I know what you're saying, but
What are they trying to do?
Well, they're putting a chip on us. They're putting a chip in us.
Exactly.
I don't think there's any conspiracy, anything like that. No, I'm not.
I would like the people that need it to get it first. Definitely if there's a limit on it right now, let the people that are working in the hospitals, that are first responders, the elderly, whoever wants it.
The elderly.
But to force somebody to take something, it's not like polio or any of the other diseases that became so terrible and devastating. It's not really a disease, it's a virus like the flu. And if we're not required to take a flu virus, flus can kill too. So why would we be required to take a vaccine for another virus?
I'm with you. I think we hit the minute mark on that one. Just from a practical standpoint, if you want to be a stagehand and work in an industry that's specifically designed seat by seat to pack as many humans in one indoor facility at a time, if you are wanting to work in that industry or go to those concerts, so these are luxury items. My entire industry, literally billions of dollars, was said no. That's what they closed the entertainment industry's mouth this year, literally like this, and they held it shut, and that's what's happened. And so when we go back to work, all Broadway, for example, IATSE, if you're a union member, that union will require that vaccination because they're not.
Now it's only good for 2-3 months. The vaccine's only good for 2 or 3 months. So would people have to continue to get them twice a year?
Doses over an extended period of time, depending on the strain. So I don't think that it's only good for 2 months. No, that's not what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. That's new information to me.
It was on the news that they weren't sure. They knew it's good for at least 2 months. It could be as good as long as 6 months, but they don't know how long it lasts.
Well, you might get another strain
in Europe And
I'll
that's
see
why.
my doctor every 2 months, 6 times a year. It's going to happen like that.
Right.
You know,
I know. Last night I attended an orgy, and they made us take the vaccination before the orgy. So
It's
I
smart.
feel like
That is
I don't know
smart.
if that's entertainment or
That makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
no,
Of course,
it
I
is
didn't wear a condom, so I don't know that.
Back
Where
to
did they
common
invent
sense
the
again.
shot?
Back to common sense.
It's true.
I mean, if you
Really
think about
took
it,
a shot.
the porn industry is one of the
So,
highest
hey, I
regulated
just want to
industries,
throw out
so-
there that, you know, the officials expect 100 million Americans to be vaccinated by March. All right. Dr. Anthony Fauci said this yesterday. Low risk groups could begin receiving doses early summer. Okay. Achieving herd immunity via inoculation is expected to take many months. And the rollout began as the U.S. already passed 300,000, like we mentioned, deaths. Total reported COVID. Okay. Officials say the death toll will continue to rise in the short term, and the rate of new daily cases has not yet peaked. And then it went on to other things. So let me just go on and just say this. For all the people that are going to go dance in the streets and have fun and get together and go to the parties and do whatever they're going to do in the next few months, okay, are the ones that are going to be cared for in the next few months as well. And that's just the way that it reads here on the paper. All right. And so, you know, to each their own. That's America. And people are going to do what they're going to do. And they're going to be proud Americans and roll thunder. And it's going to happen one way or another. But just be careful what you're doing. And, you know, try to listen to the health people. The health people are what's not being listened to in our country. And we need to science the fuck out of this, as some people say in some circles that I listen to. So anyway,
All right, Jay, that's your hot minute. Where are you throwing this hot potato? Are we moving on to the next topic?
You know, I want to say one more thing about the vaccine. You know, even if it is good for only 2 months or 6 months, and then another strain comes out, and that there are different things. I think just getting the vaccine out, it will give us all a sense of it could be a false sense of security too, but it'll give us all the belief that, hey, something's been done about it, and then that I give them the right, or to make us all feel like we can all go back to normal. And you know, and also I'm sure it'll cut down on the cases as well, and herd immunity would take over as well too. But I think they got to do something to get everything kind of make us think we go back to normal. Otherwise, it's, you know, it's going to be more devastating than it already is. So
Yeah.
but what are you not understanding about the last Spanish flu was about 18 months, typically almost 2 years to get through. I mean, what is so hard about understanding that part and knowing that if you're just careful over the next couple of years, you might be all right. You know, you might make it through.
I'm still all about being careful. I mean, even Carmel and I, you know, we go, like I said, we play pickleball with big groups of people.
Wear masks.
We wear masks where almost everybody else is.
Well, there you go. So you're heeding the advices to stay alive.
I think some of us have to be
still living.
responsible. I think some of us have to take some responsibility at our own point, for ourselves at this point, and we know the dangers. Right. You know, and if you're catching it now a lot, I mean, I feel sorry for a lot that are, but what I'm saying is, you know, you gotta kind of take your own precautions at this point. We know enough about it where, here, if you do go out, you know, hey, you take a risk if you're going to a club where there's a lot of people, or if you're going to a big party. I mean, that's a lot of it's going to be on you after a while, I think. Don't you think? I mean,
well, we've avoided large crowds, close contact. Pickleball, you're 10 feet, 15 feet away on the court.
But
so
when you group up to get ready to get on court, we wear the mask
to get back and forth to the court itself. But other than that, we avoid large crowds. We might go shopping maybe once every 2 months. We did a lot of our shopping online and had our groceries, the box groceries sent to the house. So we did a lot of that.
But it's a lot more lenient down here, because I said, after hearing Jay talk and everybody that, you know, like, you know, his father was from California as well, and they're in Cleveland, Ohio, and everything. And it's pretty. You guys are still pretty, you know, lockdowns and curfews for you guys. Here it seems, or at least in Naples, it seems pretty normal. Yet, you know.
Yeah.
It's all in the belief of the people, in my opinion. But but yeah, you're right. You got to do what the people are what they're saying. Stay locked down. Do what you got to do. Survive. I go to work every day.
What's frightening is out of 320 million people, it only takes 1,000 idiots to screw it up for everybody.
Right.
That's the fear for me is some of these people saying pitching personal responsibility. I don't see personal responsibility that often in the world. Most people are personally irresponsible. So I think you sort of got to force these things on people. Like y'all are saying, it feels like, Gary, you're saying you're on the fringe on this, but you're still taking precautions. See, that's fantastic.
Right.
But there's some of these fools out here who are coughing in people's face intentionally. They're creating fights in the stores.
You're right. You always get idiots. Yeah.
And we should have the right to put a bullet in their head and eliminate them because they're going to be a problem forever.
So I see what you mean by we have to do something
We're
about.
We're going to talk about the death penalty in a little bit.
Open season.
Okay.
You're right. Like, well, how they opened all the
I think we get
beaches
all
in
at
Florida
1
way
minute
back
on
in
that
the
one,
beginning.
Yes.
The same kind of thing. They did that because they wanted the the income from the spring breakers, and that was irresponsible too. So and those kids would have gone either way. They're going anyway. They don't.
Yeah.
So I guess
those
you got
few thousand went back
you
to
have
the
to
rest of
force
the
them to do
country.
certain things.
Right.
You know what it reminds me of? It really reminds me of drunk driving. It really does, because I've never had a drink in my life. I've never used a drug or alcohol, but I know people that drink and drive. But if you ask them, they'll tell you, I never drink and drive. You're a liar. If you drink and drive periodically. And that's about irresponsible as you can be, because you're putting someone else's life in. If it was just you flying down the road and you killed yourself, that's one thing, but you're going to kill other people. So that's always been something that's got under my skin, is people aren't personally responsible. If they were, they wouldn't be fat. They wouldn't be drunk. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of.
There's almost like a rebellion thing here where I see the stores that promote not wearing a mask, or people that promote not wearing a mask. It's a rebel thing, but what are you rebelling against? It's ridiculous. It's
and some of the hardcore, and I hate to say it because some of the hardcore Republicans are like that. I mean, I remember going down to the pickleball court on the East Trail, and one of the guys said to me, and in fact, and like I said, I'm a Republican now. I have been a Democrat for all the elections until this last one. But I mean, when I went down to the court, I had my mask on, and he goes, "Why are you wearing a mask?" And I go, "Well, like trying to make me feel embarrassed for it or something." And I'm like, and I said, "Well," and I know he was a hardcore Republican too. I don't know if it has anything to do with it. Maybe it does. But I said, "Well, I'm doing the mask more for you, because when I talk, I go more to respect you or people around me more than myself."
Right,
and he goes, "Okay." He said, "Oh, okay." And then he kind of let it go when I said that. And I meant that too. But they were like against it, almost like it's like, why are you wearing masks then if you're Republican or something? You know what I mean? So I think that was there's a strain of Americans that believe freedom is something stupid like that. It's carrying a gun, which they're almost never going to use. In fact, they're more likely to die because they own a gun from a gun. They're more likely to die. But they've got to prove this idiot point that I'm a cowboy. And your governor, DeSantis, is one of the lead idiots in that whole movement, where we're going to open up business. We're not going to wear a mask. He doesn't wear a mask. He doesn't want the count. He just sent cops in to the lady who was keeping track. They raided her home. They fired her. She was keeping track of the COVID cases. Yeah, they raided her home, and she had it on video because she was doing it on her own time, keeping track of the actual. He didn't want her putting out the real numbers. So there is in the Republicans, there's a cowboy set, and there always has been. I think freedom is something. But I think you get really radicals on both ends, Democrats and Republicans, that are just too far away, and that's where the problem is. We got too many. You got nut cases on the Republican side. You got nut cases on the Democratic side. That's the problem. Is anybody that's too hardcore, anything, too religious, too this, too that. That's the problem is. Yeah, you're right. We on the Republican side, you have cowboys, and on our liberal side, we have people riding unicorns. Right? They're still both riding horses, but they're both crazy. I agree completely. Yes, absolutely.
Anthony, I've been supporting the Mad Mothers for Monorails program for a while. I've been donating for a while, but nothing's happened. I could really use a monorail when I'm drunk. Okay, to get home. And then as far as you guys go, Gary and Carmela. So I have a little challenge for you for next week. All right.
All right.
Here's my challenge. Find some kind of proof in your citing your sources about some documentation that you were mentioning about how the vaccine's only going to last a few months.
Oh, okay.
2 months, 6 months, whatever you mentioned. I'm curious to see about that because I haven't seen or heard anything of that nature. That's all.
Okay.
I heard it takes a couple times for them to happen.
I think that might have that.
Yeah, they said they knew for sure
I was
2
thinking-
months, but they weren't quite sure if how far out it would extend on people. And another reason.
Okay, and
another reason I'm not taking it is because when I got the flu shot a few years ago, I got a really severe allergic reaction. So I'm really kind of leery about taking it.
And I think that sounds familiar, what you're saying about the 2 months. And what I was thinking they were saying was the span of time between the first dose and the second dose.
Oh,
it could
okay.
be. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I think
You
that's
could-
what they were referring to. I'm not sure, but I remember catching that also. And I believe they were saying you can take the first dose and that first dose only lasts for a couple of months before you have to take the second dose.
Oh, that could
That could
be.
be. We better check that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right.
You're a good one.
So
Ready to
Bill-
wrap up?
So let's get into the next topic. All right. The next topic is Bill Barr stepped down this week.
Bum, bum, bum.
He's going to resign. He's stepping down. Let's see here. There was a little bit of a situation there where he declared that there was no widespread evidence of voter fraud in the presidential election, and Trump didn't like that, and so
I don't know if
there was
Trump
that
didn't
whole
like that.
thing. And then, but beyond that, he's
Good choice.
But beyond that, he's right there and he's taking care of business with Mr. Trump or President Trump. And he said Trump's says Barr praised Trump's accomplishments in the face of relentless, implicable resistance and singled out Russia investigation as a partisan attack on his presidency. And then I guess there was more to it than that. He offered a forceful defense on his boss. This guy's crazy. So why didn't he just take a holiday break until January 20th?
Because he was going to get fired. Trump was going to fire him.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was essentially forced to step down. So, and I think some of these people, this is just my opinion. I know it's not going to go well with some people, but a lot of these people, now that they've admitted 4 million Jews into the ovens, now they're going to cut and run. So they're not blamed for the 6 million. The Barr has been a problem for the entire time he's been in there, and he should be prosecuted. But I think some of them believe if they jump ship now, they're going to avoid legal ramifications and consequences of their actions. And I hope they're not, because if all of these people avoid these consequences, it just sets this up to go on forever. So I think a lot of people are abandoning ship now.
It's interesting. That's very interesting.
Josh, over to you,
I'll
buddy.
take it. I think that one of the most unfortunate side effects of having you're fired in the office, I think one of the worst things that we could have done was really rely on that thought process in order to maneuver our entire government. I don't like you. You're fired. Next, you're fired. Next. There's people that didn't like people that were in jobs like Fauci for like decades. Like multiple presidents were like, yeah, he's the guy. And all of a sudden you're so ego-based that you think that, oh, I know better, and everybody else that doesn't know better gets fired. Well, maybe he's doing what he's always done, is he cuts people loose, and then they're no longer a liability. Because the cutting of loose probably requires him to sign an NDA. Oh, you don't want to get fired, then you're going to resign, and you have to sign an NDA. That's his deal. That's probably a standard package. Everyone that came out of the Trump administration signed non-disclosure agreements, confidentiality agreements, and it was all under the guise of Secret Service protected state secret. No, it's because there are tell-all books that will be coming out once Trump gets the big up the butt because it's coming. It's coming.
Right.
He is not going to be able to pardon every single thing that he did before he leaves office. And that's what he's literally doing. He's writing pardons in secret and he's letting people off the hook. So that's my hot minute. I think Barr could just choke on a fat Italian sausage. And I give not one F about that fat, like quadruple chin dude. No F's given, Jay. There you go.
Gary, I want to
Thank
hear
you.
Gary's take on it. Gary, what do you think about all this? I want to hear Gary on this one.
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't follow that as much as I could have. I mean, so I really don't think I have a educated opinion on that. What about you? I mean,
Same here.
yeah, we didn't really follow that.
It's becoming white noise. It's like, oh, let's just get in a new year and just start
I mean,
fresh.
I think all I heard is that he said stuff about the election or something that that didn't make Trump very happy about it or something like that. It was confirming the other side, so to speak, and that he fired him basically for it because he wasn't part of the team, so to speak.
Yeah, well,
So,
like you said,
I mean, I guess
Trump's MO. He just off the island.
right.
Yeah.
You're gone.
I mean, I guess.
The person he can't.
Well, I mean,
Can't fire his pens.
I guess in anybody's team, so to speak, even if I had a softball team, I guess if I don't get along with them, I'm gonna probably get rid of them too, fire them too because they don't agree with my
Coaching.
my views, so to speak, or my coaching or the way I play my game. So, I mean, I think that's just part of doing business. But but then again, in a situation of a presidency and something like that, I would kind of like people on my staff. I think too that someone that can challenge me and show me both sides,
That's
so I could actually come up with a more fair decision. So I don't think I would fire everybody that he's fired, as many people as he did, But so you kind of look at it both ways, I guess. So,
Right.
and a lot of it, I think he gets pissed off at people sometimes, and he
hot
fires
minute.
them just because he's pissed. So it's just a way of getting back at him too. So I mean, I don't think it's always the smartest thing to do. But
Yeah, I think you're right, Gary. There's a threshold where I used to own rehab clinics. I had 3 clinics, and I had a director at each. They interviewed their own people and hired and fired their own people. Of course, they discussed it with me, but it was their decision. In fact, I fired someone at one clinic, and another director hired him at their clinic. That's how independent. But there was a point where if you had to fire a bunch of people, then I started to think you're the problem
Right.
because you're not good at interviewing people and hiring the right people.
Right.
So, and I think that's where Trump has gone so far that I think some of these people are like, hey, this guy's taking us into danger deeper and deeper in the swamp, and now I'm going to get out. Because Trump just wants total loyalty, it looks like. He doesn't care.
total control. I know what you're saying, 'cause especially in the beginning of his administration. I remember I was. Well, it's funny because in the beginning of his administration, for like the first couple of years, I was gung ho, Democrat, so to speak, still too. So when I was, oh my God, what's Trump doing now? Oh my God, who do you fire now? Who do you fire now? So I got kind of a kick out of it too, And so I know what you're saying. It's a little extreme, maybe, You're so yeah.
And I'm not a Trump guy at all. And I on social media, I'm always getting people with Trump. But in the end, that we let George W. Bush escape prosecution for sending us to Iraq and Afghanistan on a lie. And that killed millions. It killed millions of them, around 1 million of them, and around, I think, 12 or 15,000 of us. That man got nothing. It kind of makes an argument that Trump shouldn't get in trouble. Because what Trump has done, unbelievably stupid management of COVID, but it's not nearly the numbers or the cost of the Iraq-Afghanistan war. So if we're going to let W off, are we going to let everyone off?
W, wasn't that more? Well, I'm not saying, like I said, I was never voted for him anyway. But wasn't that more of that? That was more of the Cheney thing, wasn't it? All the powers that be above him. So he was kind of like almost like a pawn in that, so to speak. Maybe Cheney should have got. I think people powers that be fooled him. You know what I'm saying? Into doing some of the decisions that he made. To be honest with you, I think some of those people. For lying about things, giving him probably false information. Those are the people they should be held accountable.
That's our hot minutes on that one. But yeah, I totally agree. Jay, you want to wrap that? And do we have one more? Is that
it? False allegations mess people up and mess a lot of people up. Trust me on that one. All right. I might segue a little bit more. Well, we're gonna go.
Bravo, sir. Bravo.
All right, thank you
Good
very
one,
much.
Jay.
I was waiting for that one. No, but so I guess we're gonna kind of we're gonna wind down with a few more things here. But let's see. Facebook is way too big for its britches. All right, it's going to be split up, or they're looking to split it up. Instagram and WhatsApp to be unwound from Facebook, and there's more to come. I know personally somebody here in this little room that gets arrested and put in jail almost every other week. Hello, Anthony Torino. How are you, buddy? Good to see you out here.
Facebook, yeah.
How's it going, man? How's it's been like 8 or 9 now?
No, I got put in jail yesterday. I got put in Facebook jail yesterday. I made it 8 days this time. So,
all right,
and
we'll keep coming back. Keep coming back here, okay?
I will. And now I'm on suspension in Twitter, and I don't know how to get off Twitter suspension. That's the first time I ever got in trouble on Twitter, and I don't know how to get back on Twitter. So,
you're a trendsetter on Twitter, my friend.
Well, that's what I mean. I think that's the censoring I'm talking about. You know, I mean, I think that's totally wrong. I'm surprised they're censoring some of the things that you might be saying because.
Well, I call people pussy and cunt, stuff like that.
Oh, okay, see that kind of reason. Okay.
I lose it after a while. I just go.
So it's your language, it's not your subject content.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever got nailed on subject content. It's my viciousness and interacting with people sometimes.
But you're right. I think they are too. Facebook is too big for their britches, so to speak. But then again, it's a free country. No one said they can't. No one. Well, it's a monopoly, but that it's not really monopoly, so to speak, because anybody else that wants to open up their own type of Facebook is more than welcome to do so. It's just it's very hard to get all those followers to come over, So, I mean, yeah, it's a monopoly, but okay, with someone else open one, and people got to start going over there enjoying that as well.
Is there something other than Facebook?
I don't know. I think there's something called
MySpace. What?
Something called Parler.
Parler is like the Twitter, the conservative Twitter.
Hold on. So here's the thing.
Conservative Twitter.
No, listen. Facebook is a video game. It is not a public utility. And unless they declare that internet-based companies, software, can be considered this larger thing, a utility, then they cannot do this. Legally, it is not possible for them to even remotely even think about it. They can't stop Facebook, and they can't break it up. And if they declare it a utility, then it would be federally regulated. And guess what? That means Pornhub has to be federally regulated. That means, Wayfair has to be federally regulated. Like, they can't do it. The internet mafia is bigger than you can even imagine. They are literally running hundreds, if not thousands of tons of rare earth magnet mines into the ground, trying to keep these huge server farms open. Those server farms are held by public companies. And so in order for Facebook to be broken up as a monopoly, they'll have to prove that it's a utility. If they do that, now every single internet-based service can apply for utility status. And so now we have an internet right-of-way. Listen, the reason the cable companies have rights and that AT&T has rights is because they own the copper right-of-way in the ground. The internet, Facebook doesn't own any copper right-of-way. There's no public educational governmental funding agreement between Facebook and anyone else because they're not a network or a media distribution center. Actually, they're not a news agency. They're not a.
They're like their own club. They're like their own club, and technically they can do what they want.
Facebook is a video game that exists on the internet. It's the same thing as Minecraft, bro. You want to regulate Facebook? Guess what? You know how much their shares are worth right now? Now you're going to come against how many $40, $50 billion backed on a legal team? Plus, they've already put Zuckerberg on the fucking hot seat twice now. It yielded no understanding and no results. And now what they're trying to do is they're trying to get this control over an internet company. Well, guess what? They already have that because they did away with not controlling the throttling of the internet companies. So guess what? All of this is a moot point. Because Zuckerberg, what's he going to do? Shut down the server for Instagram? Shut down the server for what's exactly he's going to do? He can't do anything. In fact, Zuckerberg doesn't own the company anymore. He gave all of his ownership to his wife. Everything I own's in my mama's name. That dude is so insulated, you will not ever see this happen. So I say it's a moot point. It's a dumb issue. Facebook is not going to actually get any kind of punishment for antitrust. Period. So, all right, that's my minute.
Okay, and I wanted to comment on this because I'm old and maybe don't understand everything. I look at Facebook just like me walking into a Facebook business, brick and mortar. They have the right to determine exactly what's going to be on their platform. Just like when you walk into a store, they got to make you wear a shirt, shoes, now a mask. They have the right to do that. And if you don't like that, then you do what the news organizations did, which was form a conservative news station.
Right.
And I think that's probably what we're looking at. Parler is the conservative Twitter. I think we're going to develop a conservative Facebook, and we're going to further divide is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. That's what's going to happen. It has to be a divide because if it's like a club. They can do it. It's their rules, man. You want to be in it. You it's up to you.
That's
and you're going to hear what they want to. So I understand they're going to hear what they want us to hear and do whatever. It's too bad though because it's very influential.
Yes.
So it's scary how much it is, and that's the scary part. So, but I guess on a legal standpoint, I guess they can pretty much do what they want. So I understand that now when you give me those facts, but it just the same with Twitter and everything else. It's too bad. Like you said, it's going to divide us. It's going to put someone else on a whole different platform if someone does it. I mean, I had people that were telling me, a lot of Republicans that said a lot of the things are being censored, said, hey, we're all going to Parler. We're all going to Parler. And I'm like, what the hell is that? So, but people use that Facebook also for advertising their businesses and this and that. So they all want to stay a part of it. So it's going to be very tricky. You're right. There's probably not much they can do about it. And it's almost, that kind of upset me too. And what actually made me become Republican is because I was really upset about all those statues being torn down back a few months ago and all that. I was very upset about that, about our history being torn down and stuff like that. And it's almost the same thing. I look at that statue almost like, and maybe in a way of like being Facebook. If you don't want to be on Facebook, then guess what? You don't have to be on Facebook, right? If you don't want to look at that statue, then don't look at the statue and walk around the block. And so I don't think anybody had the right to tear it down. Just like maybe no one has the right to tear down Facebook as well.
Yeah,
that's
right.
In a way. I think the only reason they're going to that other site, the conservative site, is because they just want someplace they can vent without being censored. So they have their people that they can vent to, and everybody will agree with each other because they're all conservative. So I think that's why they went, because when they went on Facebook and vented, they were either shut down or attacked by the other side.
It was a lot of fighting. But it was also same. You got Fox News and you got MSC and stuff. It's the same thing. Yeah. There's a lot of nice, good facts I think that are on Fox News, and then there also is stuff on CNN. The problem is they don't show each other both sides. And the people that really need to see Fox News are maybe some of the Democrats to see some of the truth that's not being told, and vice versa. If the news media would report everything and be honest, it's different. But now we have almost different media sites that are, and everything I've seen watching going on some of the Fox News and some of the things they're saying, I go, you know what? It should be nice if other people watch this, because no one's ever going to learn the truth if they don't watch this. Yeah. And then my Democratic friends are saying, you're nuts, you're being brainwashed. And how are we ever going to get the truth out? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
It's like there's two different truths.
Yeah.
Or
not necessarily. Yeah, they're hiding. There is truth, but they're hiding it. That's the thing.
Well, right. And that was
I know
minutes. That's our minutes on that one. What's the next one, Jay?
Okay. I think we're on to something, but since this is not a 24/7 news show, we're running out of time. No. Well, let's come back to that. Write your note down, Anthony, and we'll come back to that. Okay. So,
Get my vaccine.
And again, I still don't know what's at. But I'm bumped. Okay.
Owned by Facebook.
It's all in the narration of the facts too, I think, Gary. and the way each channel does their thing. But let's get into public shaming, Twitter, the Twitter killer, and death sentences. So where'd it go?
Jesus Christ, man.
The Twitter killer. Did you guys hear about the Twitter killer? It's from Japan.
Hey, Jay, let me do something revolutionary. And I'm going to chop this episode up into 2 episodes because I'm on the brink of my series length.
No, we're almost done here.
How much is
But he, let's
minutes? See. 20 minutes?
You know, he got people to kill people that, you know, kill themselves. And
well, I mean,
he ended up getting
technical question.
Getting the death penalty yesterday. And